Ultramagnetic MCs, Critical Beatdown. Never heard it. I had heard of Ultramagnetic MCs. I had seen them on lists of albums that you need to hear. I've seen Critical Breakdown, but I'm not sure if I ever even heard a single song from them ever. I only knew they exist because Kool Keith was a member. I was never a huge Kool Keith fan, so I never went back. Yeah, listen to this album. There are just so many samples that other people have used, and a lot of times this album is the first time that that sample was ever used. Their use of chopping instead of looping is revolutionary. Said G did most of the production on this one. Having said that, I'm not a Kool Keith fan, and Said G's not much better. I'm constantly listening to them and thinking like, is this good rapping? I'm not going to do a track by track breakdown of this album, mostly because I didn't like it, but also because most of the songs are very similar. I have the same critique of pretty much every song on here. So I'll just point out a few songs every now and then where I think there was something interesting. I don't think Said G ever really got his due as a producer. They were creating music as early as like 86, but they didn't put out anything until 88. So a lot of producers were using their styles and putting out albums, but they didn't have anything out yet. So when you listen to this and you don't know the history, it sounds like they were following in the footsteps of people like the Bomb Squad, when in fact it's the other way around. For instance, Ease Back, I'm pretty sure uses the same horn sample as Rebel Without a Pause. Ego Trippin' is the first song to use Melvin Bliss's Synthetic Substitution sample, which is now one of the most famous samples of all time. If you go back and listen to the song, you'll definitely recognize it. And another thing that I didn't know, De La Soul made a song called Ego Trippin' Part 2. And I always thought the Ego Trippin' Part 1 was just a De La Soul song that I had never heard. Shout out to De La Soul. That's not why I'm wearing this shirt, by the way. Mo Love's theme is probably the most straightforward Kool Keith verse that I've ever heard. I think he rhymes every line and it's on beat. So on Kool Keith's Housing Things, Keith lets you know that fish is not his favorite dish. So take that, Rakim Allah. On Traveling at the Speed of Thought, it seems like they're rapping over the guitar loop from Louie Louie, which pretty cool. Feeling It appears to have the same You Got to Feel It sample that Dr. Dre uses for Nothing But a G Thing. 1 Minute or Less is a solo Said G track where he rhymes Metaphysical Radius with All I Have to Say Is This. Not bad. On Ain't It Good to You, Keith does this really weird thing throughout the album, which I'm assuming he still does now because I don't currently listen to him, but he has this weird way of rhyming where instead of rhyming like 2 or 4 bars, he does this uneven amount of bars. And if he only did it once or twice, it would feel like, oh, he made a mistake. But the fact that he continues to do this feels like, oh, that's his style. And if you like that, hey. For instance, on the song Ain't It Good to You, he says, once again, my rhyme blows up enemies. Whack MCs across the nation on rotation. The song Give the Drummer Some actually has a lot of history behind it. It is the sample that The Prodigy uses for Smack My Bitch Up. Fun fact, Ultramagnetic MCs actually has a song called Smack My Bitch Up that The Prodigy did not sample. This is also the only song that's completely credited to the producer Paul C. Paul C, if you don't know, was a wizard with the SP and the SP1200. He was also a mentor to Large Professor. He's worked with Kwame, Organized Confusion, Queen Latifah, and he's only credited for this song, but he supposedly is responsible for the sound of the whole album. Unfortunately, Paul C died a few months after this album came out, so rest in peace to Paul C. On the song Break North, Mo Love scratches a bunch of Star Wars samples, a song which George Lucas has probably not heard. Production-wise, I definitely see why this is a classic. They used a lot of things that a lot of people would use for years to come. I just feel like a lot of people took their sound and did a much better job with it. MC-wise, it doesn't check any of the good rapper boxes. For me, anyway. I definitely will not listen to this album again. So have you heard Critical Beatdown? Are you still listening to it to this day? I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was informative. Put out videos twice a week until I run out of albums. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.